Hello everybody, welcome back to Mason Zero ASMR. My name is Mason, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. I, for one, am having a great day. The sun is shining, I've gotten a lot done already today, and I decided to film this video, going back to something that I enjoy very much, and I know a lot of you guys enjoy, which is Magic the Gathering product opening. So today, I'm going to be opening up this Guilds of Ravnica guild kit. I was at my local Target earlier, and against my better judgment, decided to pick one of these up. I was hoping they would have the 3 packs of booster packs that I usually have opened on this channel, but they haven't for quite a while. They just had individual booster packs, Planeswalker decks, and deck builders toolkits, and a whole bunch of things really, but none of those random pack assortments. They did have these though, and I kind of wanted to open one of them up. I do have, even though I normally don't like blue-black, I do have a mill deck for Commander, and figured this deck would give me some tools and some cards that I don't already have, but also just kind of a fun thing to do. So, getting back to the roots of the channel and opening up some Magic. So without further ado, let's start opening this package. Oh, I guess what we get first. Get a Dimir deck box, a 60-card Dimir deck, assembled from all 3 Ravnica blocks, plus special Dimir basic lands. We get a Dimir sticker, a Dimir pin, 5 double-sided tokens, and a guild-themed insert, and a Dimir-themed life counter. So we get quite a lot of stuff. Oh, there's even a little open tab here. Welcome to the House Dimir. This box contains everything you need to harvest knowledge, sabotage enemies, and covertly communicate with fellow agents. Report back soon. So here's our deck box. Our very large sticker. A little guy with is it Mirko Vosk, I think, and the list of cards in the deck, which is pretty cool. Awesome. And then have the deck itself. Yeah, there's 2 layers of plastic here. Alright, we have the Dimir pin, which is pretty cool. It actually is a pin and made of at least a metallic-like substance. And then here we have the Dimir spin-down die, which is pretty cool. Got the Dimir symbol there, and it's sort of blue with black text and white speckles. And then we have the deck itself. Move these things out of the way for now. And our face card of the deck, which is a bit warped, is Atrada the Silencer, special alternate art foil version. She costs 2, a blue and a black, for a 3/5 legendary creature, Vampire Assassin. Atrada the Silencer can't be blocked. Whenever Atrada deals combat damage to a player, exile a target creature that player controls and put a hit counter on that card. That player loses the game if they own 3 or more exiled cards with hit counters on them. Etrada's owner shuffles Etrada into their library. So pretty funny, crazy card. Let's open up the actual deck and see what sort of great treasures we've gotten here from all 3 Ravnica blocks. Alright, the first card in the deck is Blood Operative. 1 black for a 3/1 creature, vampire assassin with lifelink. When Blood Operative enters the battlefield, you may exile target card from a graveyard. Whenever you surveil, if Blood Operative is in your graveyard, you may pay 3 life. If you do, return Blood Operative to your hand. And this card was from Guilds of Ravnica. Dimir Doppelganger. 1, a blue, and a black for a 0/2 creature shapeshifter. Pay 1, a blue, and a black. To exile target creature card from a graveyard, Dimir Doppelganger becomes a copy of that card, except it has this ability. Fear not, your life will not go unlived. I believe this card is from the original Ravnica block. Nightveil Spectre. 3 hybrid blue-black for a 2/3 creature spectre. Flying. When Nightveil Spectre deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of their library. You may play cards exiled with Nightveil Spectre. I believe this one is from Return to Ravnica. Next up is another legendary creature, Cirsu Dimir Lobotomist, who I believe is from original Ravnica. 2, a blue, and a black for a 2/3 legendary creature, human wizard. Whenever you cast a blue spell, exile the top card of target player's library. Whenever you cast a black spell, exile the top card of target player's library. Your opponents can't cast spells with the same name as a card exiled with Cirsu Dimir Lobotomist. Not quite a mill card necessarily, but goes nicely in a mill deck. Of course, we have Lazov Dimir Mastermind, which is my commander for that. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember if I already bought this card to replace it. Not actually sure. I should have checked that. So he is blue, black for a 3/3 legendary creature shapeshifter with hexproof. Whenever a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may have Lazov Dimir Mastermind become a copy of that card, except its name is Lazov Dimir Mastermind. It's legendary in addition to its other types, and it has hexproof and this ability. Consuming Aberration. 3, a blue, and a black for a star creature horror. Consuming Aberration's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. Whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, then puts those cards into their graveyard. Easily one of the best win conditions for a mill deck. Combat-based win conditions. And it's a mill card on top of that. Here we go, Mirko Vosk, Mind Drinker. 3, a blue, and a black for a 2/4 legendary creature vampire with flying. Whenever Mirko Vosk, Mind Drinker, deals combat damage to a player, that player reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal 4 land cards, then puts those cards into their graveyard. Yet another legendary creature, Zadek, Lord of Secrets. 3, blue, black for a 5/5 legendary creature vampire with flying. If Zadek, Lord of Secrets, would deal combat damage to a player, instead put that many +1/+1 counters on Zadek, and that player puts that many cards from the top of their library in their graveyard. A very effective mill card, but also very costly. Ooh, this deck has a mission briefing. One of the hottest cards from Guilds of Ravnica, if I remember correctly, although I have not checked prices in a while. So mission briefing is 2 blue for an instant. Surveil 2, then choose an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. If that card will be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So it is Snapcaster Mage on a spell with Surveil, which is pretty sweet. Glimpse the Unthinkable. A blue and a black for a sorcery. Target player puts the top 10 cards of their library into their graveyard. I am confident that if anyone actually penetrates our facades, even the most perceptive would still be fundamentally unprepared for the truth of House Dimir. Zedek. This is one of the cards that I wanted from this deck for my mill deck, because I believe it's a little bit pricey otherwise. Stolen Identity. 4 blue for a sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature, and it has Cipher. Oh, we even get a token for it. That's really cool. Wow, I've never seen that before. I wonder if that's new. I have no idea. So we have a horror on the other side. This one has a horror on the other side. And this one is the same. Wow, we got a lot of these. And yeah, wow, that's cool. So I got all these copy tokens, which is actually pretty useful outside of just this card. Pretty much anything for copies. That's really nice. Wow. Alright, so that's all the rares, which is quite a few. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 rares, one of which was a mythic rare, specifically. But now we're into the rest of the deck, which will be less exciting, but we'll see what's in there. So our first card is Barrier of Bones. It costs 1 black for a 0/3 creature skeleton wall with Defender. When Barrier of Bones enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Flavor text. The Dimir rarely make statements. When they do, the message is clear. Wall of Mist. 1 and a blue for a 0/5 creature wall with Defender. Fog haunts the streets, rendering the familiar as otherworldly, changing neighbors into shadows and muffling cries for help. Dimir Guildmage. 2 hybrid blue-black for a 2/2 creature human wizard. 3 and a blue, target player draws a card. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. 3 and a black, target player discards a card. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. And we have 2 of those. Moroi, I believe. I'm actually not sure. 2 blue and a black for a 4/4 creature vampire. Flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. Touched by Moroi, Undercity slang, meaning to grow old. Night Veil Predator. Blue, black for a 3/3 creature vampire. Flying, death touch, hexproof. 3 daggers left in an angel's back. 3 enforcers with memory loss. 3 keys stolen from my own belt. And you talk of peace? Tajik to Aurelia. Netherborn Phalanx. 5 and a black for a 2/4 creature horror. When Netherborn Phalanx enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life for each creature they control. Has Transmute for 1 and 2 black. I've never seen that card before. Now this card I have seen before. Dinrova Horror. 4 a blue and a black for a 4/4 creature horror. When Dinrova Horror enters the battlefield, return target permanent to its owner's hand, then that player discards a card. Welcome to the Dimir Public Offices, not responsible for death or loss of property. Basement off limits. Sign outside Dinrova building. Dimir Aqueduct. Land. Dimir Aqueduct enters the battlefield tapped. When Dimir Aqueduct enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap to add a blue and a black. And we've got another one, and a full set of 4. Same goes for Dimir Guildgate. Land Gate. Dimir Guildgate enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add blue or black. Every guild dreads infiltration. I should know. I've been a member of all of them. Lazov. This one has different flavor text. You've found this place only because you were summoned. Pray you're worthy of the invitation. Etrata. So we've got 2 of each of those. Ooh, and the beautiful, beautiful lands. I don't know if this will have enough for all the basics in my mill deck. I think I have a fair amount, but I would like to be able to put these in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 islands. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 swamps. If only these had each come with their corresponding shock land, that would make them even better. But we do get a Dimir Signet, which last I checked was a couple bucks. Dimir Signet is 2 generic mana for an artifact. Pay 1 and tap to add blue-black to your mana pool. An emblem of a secret guild, the Dimir insignia is seen only by its own members and the doomed. We actually have 2 of those. Very nice. Disdainful Stroke. 1 and a blue for an instant. Counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or greater. Laws apply only to those who lack the vision to see past them. Unexplained Disappearance. 1 and a blue for an instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Surveil 1. The first thing the mist chills is the mind. Victims never cry out or even murmur in surprise. Telling Time. 1 and a blue for an instant. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of those cards into your hand, 1 on top of your library, and 1 on the bottom of your library. Mastery is achieved when telling time becomes telling time what to do. Last Gasp. 1 and a black for an instant. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Allow me a moment to catch your breath. Dimir Charm. A blue and a black for an instant. Choose 1. Counter target sorcery spell. Destroy target creature with power 2 or less. Look at the top 3 cards of target player's library. Put 1 back and the rest into that player's graveyard. Dangerous to recognize. Deadly not to. Lazov. Warped Physique. A blue and a black for an instant. Target creature gets +X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. The Gruul seek unbounded strength. The Dimir deliver cruel irony. Mephitic Vapors. 2 and a black for a sorcery. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. Surveil 2. Ravnica's safest strongholds are often neither. Notion Rain. 1, a blue, and a black for a sorcery. Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. Notion Rain deals 2 damage to you. City air is a constant drizzle of private thoughts. Price of Fame. 3 and a black for an instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a legendary creature. Destroy target creature. Surveil 2. Call of the Nightwing. 2, a blue and a black for a sorcery. Create a 1/1 blue and black horror creature token with flying. Cipher. Ribbons of Night. 4 and a black for a sorcery. Ribbons of Night deals 4 damage to target creature and you gain 4 life. If blue was spent to cast Ribbons of Night, draw a card. My favorite meal is angel's flesh, slain in agony and iced with black vinegar. Azala of House Dimir. We have a second copy of Ribbons of Night. Syncopate. X and a blue for an instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Patience Mage. Killing you now would be too easy. Then we have a split card from Guilds of Ravnica, Discovery and Dispersal. Discovery is 1 and a hybrid blue-black for a sorcery. Surveil 2, then draw a card. Dispersal is 3, a blue and a black for an instant. Each opponent returns a non-land permanent they control with the highest converted mana cost among permanents they control to its owner's hand, then discards a card. And that is the whole deck. Some pretty interesting cards from across Ravnica. Obviously, I'm more interested in some of the key rares that I might enjoy for my mill deck in Commander. Not entirely sure on the price of some of these cards, but considering the $20, maybe $21 price tag on this item, I think I didn't get ripped off too badly. Either way, it's fun to do a video like this again, regardless of the financial impact. I think it's a lot of fun to do these kinds of videos, and they are, after all, what brought a lot of you to my channel in the first place. So if you're still watching these 2 or 3 years later down the line of when I first started making these, thank you very much. If you're new, thank you very much also. If you're not subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you did that. If you would like to make a comment about this deck or Magic in general, please feel free to leave a comment. Anything helps, and I appreciate every view and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.